We can again do better. First Indian woman F4 racer. You're absolutely right when it comes to sports funding. Hopefully people watching this telecast out there, young women will take up car racing, and the sponsors out there will also come and support them. Thank you very much, Shreya. Pleasure having you on this We Women Want Conclave podium. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce someone who is recognizable to all of you from her years in sports and her years in television. Anjum Chopra, she's played cricket for India at the highest levels, and you see her, of course, in the commentary box these days. Anjumji, could we request you to come on stage? My colleague and senior news editor, Devika Chopra, will continue the conversation. Let's have a big round of applause. Here's a recognizable person physically here in front of you.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning. That was a good, firm handshake like a sportswoman as expected. Anjum Chopra in the house at We Women Want 2026. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us.
Thank you.
So, years and years in sports, ma'am, years and years in cricket. I was just speaking to before you. I hope you heard a little bit of that conversation with the young sportswoman, Shreya. She's also breaking barriers in a male-dominated sport, but, you know, somewhere it was women like you who paved the way for her, for the younger generation today. How far have we come as a nation?
I think the very fact that, morning everyone, the very fact that she was here and she is saying that funding is one of the issues, but she's still made a name for herself, and such a strong presence in a field where probably everybody doesn't take it up for obvious reasons. Car racing, women driving on the roads itself is a challenge, but when you talk about racing, obviously is making a difference. So she being here clearly indicates that we have traveled a distance, and we've traveled a fair amount of distance in a very positive way, I say that. Women winning the World Cup last year, 2025, the first for the Indian women's team itself indicates that, or showcases that the girls have been trying. We've been working very hard, but eventually the results have come. So hopefully, with the results coming through, it just indicates that we are on a positive and a good pathway ahead.
All right, good pathway ahead. And I will come back to women in sports in just a moment, but let's quickly talk about you as well. You know, you've moved now into the commentary booths, and we love listening to you because a huge part of watching cricket, and I think what made cricket so enduring for so many Indians was the fact that you got to listen to that live commentary and you get that boost and that pep from that. How's that transition been for you?
I'm glad that people like listening to me. I thought they were watching us on mute, or probably watching the game on mute for most times.
Not at all, not at all.
So there's a nice option. You know, actually you can put mute on, you can still watch the game, nobody disturbs you on that. But I'm glad people listen to us, or are forced to listen to us. But I guess that was I won't say it was a natural progression. I'll say while I was playing only, I was given an opportunity to, those days commentary on the ground was definitely one of the things, but because we only had one channel, Doordarshan, showcasing matches, so it was pretty much easy to say you're a part of the pre, mid and post-match analysis programs. So journey started from there. But once I got the opportunity to do live broadcasting, I realized that there is no retake, and whatever you say, it has to be spot on, because you're talking to an audience which you can't see. They can see you, but at the same time you have to balance your words to showcase what you have experienced as a player, to understand what's happening on the field, and also understanding the pulse of not only the player but even the audience and the people following the sport in different nations. So a smile for one can be an anguish for the other, but you just have to voice it in a perfect manner. So I'm just learning how to become better at it each day, but it's definitely a nice journey and a nice transition from being a player to still being able to step onto that park and be on the crease where most people, sorry for the pronunciation, but most people can't step on or go close to that field of play. at least I have that access. So I really feel blessed with that.
Absolutely. And any memorable blunders, goof ups that you remember from,
Every
like
day.
you said, it's live. You can't take it back.
Every day.
And kabhi kabhi muँह se bas nikal jata, and then you're like, oh.
Every day. It's every day, and I realize that because the moment I get reminded that I made a mistake, you don't have to go far. It's the one next to you, he or she will remind you, and then people will remind you, because actually that gives a nice feeling, but at least people are listening.
Yeah.
So even if
Exactly.
you make a blunder or you make a mistake and it goes unnoticed, you can say, oh, nobody noticed it. But then that means people are not listening. So if you make a mistake and it comes back to you and say, so that means people are listening. That's good.
Anjumji, at the same time, you've played over 150 international matches, right? And now you're watching that game very, very closely as well. If you were to point out, what's been the single most dramatic shift in how women's cricket is being played today in India, and how is it being perceived in India today?
So I won't say a dramatic shift, but a very nice shift. I'll probably change the word from dramatic to healthy, saying that at least more people are aware of the women's game. And I think that stems from the fact that when you get a World Cup trophy into your own country, and now with the presence of media in an enhanced manner, more avenues to cover news and broadcast news or broadcast information. We won't go to right or wrong, but we'll say broadcast information. So that accessibility and that reachability has assisted the success that we as a nation get in sport reach wider audiences quicker. And that has helped in a big way. And as I say again, winning a World Cup is no small achievement. It's a massive feat. And because the women have done that, following our men's cricket World Cup victories over the years, I think it's obviously a very healthy sign and a very positive sign that more people follow and more people watch the sport intently.
And you just mentioned winning the World Cup. We had not just one female team, but two, in fact. A lot of people are not aware. It wasn't just the women's cricket team, but also the blind women's cricket team that won the World Cup. So when now these moments happen and this news comes, and there will be a time when it will no longer be a surprise, or it will happen so often that it'll become a very regular part of the news cycle. And that's a good thing to happen, right, when we talk about sports. But right now, when these moments do come and you get that news that, oh, our girls have won the World Cup, or the blind women's team has won the World Cup, or in any other sport out there, we've won the gold, and this girl has gone out and she's broken this record. What's that feeling like?
The feeling? Feeling is unparalleled. I got to lift that World Cup trophy in a packed stadium in Mumbai. I mean, these are the moments that as a sports person you dream of. Playing at home, playing to a packed stadium, playing to playing to audiences who actually want to get in, and you're getting calls to giving them the access to getting inside, or providing or helping them get access to getting inside the stadium. I mean, these are the moments that as a sports person you dream of, lifting a World Cup trophy at home, not only abroad. Yes, I mean, on any soil, lifting a World Cup trophy will be pleasurable and a delight, but I guess that's a moment which is just realized and just felt when you have that trophy in your hand. Look, I've been a sports person and I've seen many failures, more failures than success. But at the end of the day, when you get that one success or one happy moment, all the earlier ones where you've not done well just go into oblivion. You just don't remember about all those, because you just remember that one success. And that's exactly what you trained for, to remember that one success. That does not mean that you forget your failures, but that remains in isolation for yourself to ponder upon and remember from where you've come to where you want to go. But yeah, for that one moment of great pride, I think that's exactly what a sports person yearns for and trains for the number of years.
Well, Anjumji, I'm so sad that I have to, cut short this conversation, but that's all time that we have for now on this stage, but we will continue this conversation with you in our We Women Want podcast as well. But thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank you.
for joining us
Thank
this
you.
morning and for gracing this stage with your presence. A huge round of applause for Anjum Chopra.
What a treat it was, Anjumji. It was great to finally meet you. We who do TV have been watching you on TV, of course, for a very, very long time. Thank you so much for taking out that time. Anjumji also, of course, representing women in sport.